Welcome to this explainer. Think of me as your mentor today, because we're diving into a highly tactical leadership briefing. We're going to extract the ancient, battle-tested wisdom of the legendary strategist Chanakya and translate the whole shebang into a modern master plan to help you conquer career burnout and lock in absolute professional focus. So, here's a question for you. Why do you feel aimless, dreamed, or just completely exhausted even when you have a massive, grand ambition staring you right in the face? Look, you're definitely not alone in this. Actually, this perfectly mirrors a young Chandragupta Maurya. Long before he built an empire, he was sitting dejected by a river, feeling entirely directionless and completely zapped of energy, despite having this massive goal right in front of him. To pull you out of that exact same slump, here is our strategic blueprint for today. We're breaking this down into 6 crucial maneuvers. 1. The mind's battlefield. 2. Shielding your focus. 3. Locking the tactical target. 4. The Nanda resilience strategy. 5. Building your daily arsenal. And 6. The unyielding discipline protocol. Let's kick things off with phase 1, the mind's battlefield, and recognizing the crisis of motivation. Remember when Chanakya found his student Chandragupta sitting by that river? The young guy was basically complaining that he just didn't have the juice, the energy to execute his plans. Well, Chanakya's response was incredibly sharp. He told his student, flat out, that if you lack the energy to execute, it just means your target is weak and you're wasting precious mental resources. He stressed this profound secret. To be successful, you must never, ever sit idle. To really get this, let's look at the cost of inaction through the story of Ramlal the gardener. So Ramlal planted his seeds, sat back on his couch, and just hoped nature would do the heavy lifting. He relied entirely on the hope strategy, drinking tea and gossiping while his crops were literally getting destroyed by weeds and pests. Sitting on the couch, waiting for rain just leads to professional starvation. Meanwhile, daily, calculated action, watering, protecting, nurturing, that is the absolutely only thing that actually yields a harvest. All right, moving on to phase 2, shielding your focus. Or as I like to call it, silencing the enemy within. Now, I want you to look closely at these specific thoughts swirling around in your head. Why is he ahead of me? How did she achieve that? When you obsess over others, you're actually dragging your own mind into this exhausting labyrinth. These constant comparisons, they are pure enemy sabotage. They tire out your brain, and a tired, noisy brain simply cannot aim properly at its own target. So what's the fix? Well, by completely ignoring the competition and focusing strictly inward, you regain total clarity. You achieve mental dominance. Chanakya teaches us that life is a battlefield, right? And your absolutely biggest enemy is a distracted mind. When you finally cut out the noise of what everyone else is doing, your mind stops being this leaky bucket of energy and transforms into a powerful, unbreakable weapon. This brings us perfectly to phase 3, locking the tactical target and escaping the labyrinth of distractions. Chanakya laid it out like this. Do not wander. Do not say it cannot be done. Pick one target and do not create unnecessary doubts. You have got to stop generating endless internal questions. You know how it is. Today we want to do one thing, tomorrow another, and the day after we're chasing a totally new idea. Listen, you cannot win a campaign if you're constantly second-guessing your own strategy. Pick your target, make it your absolute priority, and silence internal doubts like, can I really do this? A solid goal isn't just a dream you have while sleeping. It's the vision that gives meaning to every single waking moment. Let's pivot to phase 4, the Nanda resilience strategy. This is all about pivoting after a professional failure. Tracing Chandragupta's timeline here reveals exactly how to build true resilience. This maps out his devastating early defeat against the Nanda dynasty. His small army was completely scattered, total failure. But Chanakya, stepping in as the ultimate mentor, coached him to pivot. He taught him that every disaster is actually a crucial strategic teacher. Instead of just giving up, they analyzed their structural weaknesses, built brand new alliances with local tribes, and ultimately, they founded the massive Mauryan empire. So when failure hits your career, don't retreat, analyze the weakness, and pivot your strategy. Okay, into phase 5, building your daily arsenal. We're talking about continuous learning as a weapon. You must continuously gather intelligence from your surroundings, because the day you stop learning is the exact day your professional growth hits a brick wall. You've got to recognize that every single person and every single setback has a valuable lesson to offer. Books, They give you access to the minds of brilliant people you'll never even meet. But look at your daily environment too. You can literally weaponize a coworker's excellent time management skills or borrow a friend's relentless positivity. Every interaction is a chance to upgrade your arsenal. Let's break down this never sit idle protocol. To really execute this, you have to actively replace idle anxiety with productive action. Remember, your brain is always running. Even when you're asleep, you're dreaming. So why on earth would you let it idle on negativity while you're awake? If you have free time, jump into learning a new skill like coding or public speaking. Take a walk in nature to strategize and mentally map out your future. And most importantly, strictly ban the overanalysis of past failures. That only breeds fear and inaction, and we definitely don't have time for that.
Finally, we reach phase 6, the unyielding discipline protocol. This is all about anchoring your daily routine. Here's the hard truth about motivation. It fades, it fluctuates. But discipline is the unyielding rope that pulls you out of a sea of distractions and drags you directly to your goal. It's the framework that takes your abstract dreams and turns them into concrete reality. Discipline stops you from wandering off and just keeps pulling you forward, step by step, sweat by sweat, right toward your objective.
And that brings us to the tactical morning checklist. Executing these 3 exact steps every single day isn't just about saving time. It's about perfectly aligning your physical and mental state before the workday even starts. Step 1, wake up on time. Step 2, exercise to physically shake off that lethargy. And step 3, sit down to organize your thoughts and lock in your daily targets. If you start your day with that kind of positive, focused energy, you are literally winning the war before your competitors have even tied their boots.
I want you to remember this quote whenever your career challenges feel insurmountable. Back when Alexander the Great's army was right at India's borders and literally everyone else had lost hope, Chanakya reminded his student of this exact truth. A warrior is not one who only wins, but one who fights until the end. A true professional fights through their own self-doubt to the very end. Well, you've got the battle plan now, you know the terrain, so what will be your first strategic maneuver today?